Hola, 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 mis estrellas, ¿cómo están? Thanks so much for tuning in as always. So basically, I just wanted to come to you guys quickly and talk to you about dealing with anxiety as an actor. I had no idea that I had been dealing with anxiety. So I mentioned in another video of mine that there have been a lot of life changes of mine, and I keep saying I'm gonna actually make a video about those things because I just want to put it out there. I think at this point that's what I would like to do, but I think I want to think through what I'm going to say before I actually do it. So what I'm going to mention in that video is, you know, basically some things that I've been dealing with. And one of those things happened to be anxiety. And I had no idea that that was something that I was dealing with. And then I had no idea that acting was going to contribute to anxiety. So how has that been affecting me? Well, the first time it was brought to my attention that, you know, the acting lifestyle could be or could cause anxiety, I didn't think that was happening to me at all. So I was actually seeing a counselor at the time, and I was just speaking about my life, speaking about what I do, and then it was mentioned to me that, wow, you know, that must give you a lot of anxiety, and never thought 2 cents about that. Even when they said it, I didn't think too much about that, but I could understand how they came to that conclusion because I was explaining that because at the time I was still doing a lot of background work. So, you know, you always wanted to be by your phone. You always wanted to answer calls from casting. You always wanted to make sure you were applying throughout the day, things like that. And so it was mentioned to me like, oh, wow, you know, that could give you a lot of anxiety, or do you get a lot of anxiety from that? And I was thinking, no, you know, that's what I was really thinking. And then it didn't hit me until recently, like, oh my goodness, like, yeah, I think anxiety is playing a factor in what's going on with me. So recently I found out that I really must have been dealing with depression, fear, worry, and anxiety. And I just couldn't believe it because it's like, how did I get to that point, basically? So when I realized acting was causing me some anxiety, I was just looking at my situation, and I was looking at how I felt when I was asked to do an audition on top of everything else that was going on at the time, and I ended up missing like 2 auditions. I think they were both self-tapes. I don't think they were auditions I needed to go in person for, but in either case, that was something I've never done. When I missed those 2 auditions, I was like, wait a minute, something has to change right now because I've never missed an audition before. So I decided to book out for like an entire month. I think the summer and the fall is probably the worst time to probably be trying to book out, but that's how much was going on in my life. And I felt a little bit better. Unfortunately, I am, for the time being, I don't have an open audition schedule anymore. I had an open audition schedule, and now I don't. So when my month was over, obviously my manager and my agent both were trying to submit me for work again. And what happens? I, of course, ended up getting auditions, and I started getting that feeling of anxiety because I couldn't figure out how in the world do I manage being at this job and going to an audition. And, you know, I feel very blessed because I was able to make it to them, but I got anxiety from that. And so I decided to book out again. Sounds terrible, I know, but I have to figure this out. Like, I don't have this life figured out at all. You know, New York is a very expensive city. Acting doesn't really pay off for everyone in the beginning, and sometimes it doesn't pay off at all for people, and it's not a steady paycheck, and so you really have to figure out what your survival job is going to be, and it's tough. it's tough. And just to be honest with you, when I get auditions, especially recently, they've been coming in within like less than 24 hours. I remember getting a text message for an audition 10 o'clock the next morning. And before, when I had an open audition schedule, that worked. However, having, you know, this job now, it doesn't make it that easy. So, yeah, I think that some of you that have been acting for a while and you're going on auditions, maybe this is something that you can relate to. I think I just wanted to just put my experience out there for you guys, and I just felt it in my heart to talk about this today. I really was going to talk about depression. Maybe that is something I will touch on next time, because depression honestly is something that I've had to deal with since I was definitely at least 18 years old. And I don't want to go into the full spill of it now, but I think that I will. But just briefly, I think that after I felt like I conquered it the first time, it creeped its ugly head back into my life recently. And I don't ever like to sit there and say that I am depressed, especially if you're someone that thinks that you shouldn't say certain things about yourself, because then that makes it true. I do get that, but at the same time, I think that you have to realize that if you deal with something, you just deal with something. I think ignoring it is not the right way to go. If you have an issue with something, I think you do need to acknowledge that you have an issue with something so you can start working on that issue. So anyways, originally that was what came to my mind, but maybe I need to think through a little bit more what I want to say about it, because it can be a deep topic. And just from my own personal experience with it, not everyone gets it. I've been told plenty of things. I've been told that basically people that are depressed are people that choose to be depressed. That is not true. That is not true whatsoever. There have been days definitely where I would just wake up, and waking up was so daunting, like it already hit me the second I opened my eyes, and it wasn't a choice. So anyways, I'm not going to go on and on and on about that, but I did want to share this with my fellow actors. You know, what I've been going through and what I've been experiencing. And, you know, even if you're not an actor, I think that, you know, you can relate to the topic of anxiety. And I definitely don't have anxiety to the extent that some other people do, where it's super serious. Maybe they can have an anxiety attack, a panic attack. I've never gotten to that point. So, you know, I definitely can't speak to that extent of it. But I do realize that one of the emotions that have been coming up for me is a bit of anxiety. It's probably on the lighter side for sure, but it's something that I've needed to open my eyes to, so I can start working on myself, working on having a good life, working on having a good mental space, and just working on myself and good vibes, good energy, and a good life. So anyways, guys, I don't know if you've experienced something like this. I'd love for you to write in the comment section below. Let me know how your acting career is going. I'd love to hear it. You know, I always think that this is an open community, that way we can, you know, share and learn from each other. You have to forgive me, it's really late. Well, it's late for me anyway, and I really would like to go to bed, but I felt like I had to do this video today. And then on top of that, I do have to wake up early. For me, obviously dealing with the things that I'm dealing with right now, getting up early, being able to go walk or run, I definitely try to walk or run multiple times in the day. It's been very helpful for me in ways that, like, I just couldn't imagine. And there are other things that I'm doing as well to help me cope. But anyways, yeah, if you've experienced anything like this, leave it in the comment section below. So los quiero mucho, and I'll see you guys next time. Besos.